Welcome back to the Button Up Society podcast. Thank you for listening for the last few weeks. Emily and I have been having a blast creating the show for you. Last week, we were enjoying spring break and did not record, but we love chatting so much. We have tons of footage that has been edited out over the course of the last few episodes. This week, enjoy some of our musings that didn't make the first cut.
Jonathan Bailey in Bridgerton. Gorgeous. Love him. We needed more of him in Wicked.
Yeah.
And I was really upset when, like we were just saying, that when we found out it was only the first half. Like, they did not market it that it was going to be in 2 halves. Did we know that?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I didn't know it.
I didn't, and I was like very prepared going into Wicked because I'm a big Wicked fan. And I got there and I'm with Chad's family, well, all the women, and I'm like on the edge of my seat the whole time, like loving every second of it. And then it was like intermission, and I looked at his aunt or his cousin, and I was like, "Hey, do I get some popcorn? Is it intermission?" And she was like, "No, honey, it's over." And like, I thought I was gonna cry. Like, I don't know how I missed that it was part one.
I didn't know it until maybe the day before we went to see it. I think I told somebody we were going to go see it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, but don't forget." I don't know. They didn't say don't forget, but they were like, "Yeah, it was really good. I can't wait for the second one to come out." And I was like, "Wait, I'm sorry, what?"
No, I was not prepared. And then I went looking, and apparently that they did announce it like 2 years ago that it would be put out in 2 parts. But when it said like act 1 or part 1, I was like, "Oh, cool, they're just preparing us for intermission." And then like you could tell that they were over it. They were like, "We've been in this theater like 3 hours. We're done." Yeah. I felt like it hit a flash. Yeah. I was like, ready for part 2.
Yeah, I know.
I was so upset.
It was great, but I wasn't prepared for that. I was like waiting. There were certain moments in that second half that I was anticipating.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Really, it was a bummer.
And now I want to go see it again on stage. I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, me too. Yeah, it's been a long time. At least 10 years since I've seen it.
It's been okay. We went to see it. It was in Birmingham. Whatever year was our 10th anniversary, 2016. Okay. So it's been almost 10 years.
Maybe it'll come back.
It's coming back this year.
Oh, is it? Well, then we should go.
Maybe. Oh, I don't remember. I think September, sometime this year or early next year. I think it was in the fall though.
Ooh, I hope it's this year so we can see it again before part 2 comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I've been a big fan of it for a long time too. Like, I read the book.
Me too.
I saw it. I don't know. I saw it in Atlanta for the first time years ago. I don't even know. It was probably like 2008 or something.
Oh, it's just so good. It's such a good story.
It's such a good story.
And did you hear? So I watched all the TikToks on it, of course, like everyone breaking down everything, and they said that the higher Glinda sings, the less sincere she is. So like at the beginning when she's singing "No One Mourns the Wicked" and she's singing it, alphabet is like she is so insanely high in her opera singing, and then like during Defying Gravity. Especially when she says like she sings like "My Friend" and something else in there, and her voice is so much lower.
Yeah.
And so like when she's in a lower register, she's being very sincere, and when she's really high pitched, she's very insincere. I was like, that is mind blowing. So I watched it back because I also bought it like the second you could buy it on a TV. I watched it back to see. And it totally checks out. Like anytime she's being sincere, she's a lot lower.
Wow.
I love creative
people. I never knew that.
Me neither. I love creative people.
Me too. I'm gonna have to like put the soundtrack on when I get back in the car later today.
Yeah.
Just to listen to it.
Yeah.
And so I was in high school going to my death coffin, of course, of the tanning bed. But also, I found the Gradual Tan lotion. Yeah. So I was putting that on, and I was a bronzed, like, statue. I looked the best I have ever looked. I was the most in shape I've ever been. It was prom. It was perfect. And then, like, 2 days after prom, it was spring break, and we were driving from North Carolina to Las Vegas.
Oh.
And I had... my whole body was a hive. basically. Like I was just covered in hives. And I remember I had my fake nails on because of
course.
prom. And I was scratching my legs so bad that they were bleeding. I was using like a hairbrush because acrylics, unless they're pointy, aren't like the soup, I was just scratching myself with whatever I could. So I'm bleeding. My mom like drugs me with Benadryl, and I do not remember the drive to Las Vegas, the 3-day drive.
I feel like there are worse things to have to forget.
There are worse things to block out for sure.
I mean, if I had to be in the car for that long,
I
somebody
just slept.
to give me some Benadryl.
Yeah. But I clawed my legs to death. And I was really sad that I will never be bronzed again because it was traumatic.
That is sad. So you think it was just like the gradual tan stuff?
Whatever the active ingredient was, because I tried 2 or 3 different brands because I was young and dumb and I wanted to be
Every time.
bronze. And every time.
That's so sad.
I know. The first few days were fine.
Okay.
It was
We
great.
should totally, since we're talking about prom,
Yeah.
we should totally share prom pictures
Oh my
in
gosh.
stories on Instagram.
That would be so fun.
Um,
I love it. I think
did
it's
you
fun.
have good prom style or bad prom style? I did 2 proms because we did junior senior prom, right?
Yeah.
And it was 50-50. My junior year, everything was great. Loved my dress, loved my hair. Senior year, I liked my dress was good. My hair did not turn out. I had shorter hair, like a bob, and there was a picture on the cover. I don't remember what magazine it was. I'll have to see if I can look it up online because I could probably look up the year. But it was Nicole Kidman, and she had these great ringlets,
Yes.
and her hair was kind of bobbed. So I wanted ringlets.
Was that the Bewitched Nicole Kidman?
No, I think it had to be
No.
before that.
Okay.
This would have been 2003. So I think it was definitely before that. I don't know. I'll see if I can find it online and I'll post it. But
Yeah.
I wanted those curls. I wanted my hair to look like that. And my hair it went out more than anything.
Oh no.
It was kind of flat on top and then like
Ah,
so anyway.
I love it.
Yeah.
I went to 3 proms because I was on prom committee.
Oh. Yeah.
So I got to go as a sophomore because I was on prom committee.
Oh.
And then I was like a big pink poofy dress. And then junior year was like a black dress. And then my senior year I had this gold dress and it was beautiful. And it had this like ruffle thing that went down the front.
That's
And I
very-
loved it. But I went to a small Baptist Christian school, right? So we're like pretty conservative in these dresses. Well, you had to like bring them in and have them
Yeah.
approved, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
It gets approved. I put it on. I get in the car and the slit is like way inappropriate. Like the pretty thing that goes like this just like flies open. And we were like, well, that's interesting. And it was totally fine. It just was unexpected. I was like, was not trying to flash everybody. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I know.
That's so funny. So I also went to a small Christian school and we had lots of like not lots of formal events, but we had like a formal Christmas dance every year.
Oh,
But
that's
there were
fun.
a lot of dresses,
Yeah.
not just the 2 prom. You saying a gold dress. I had this one dress that I loved. I lived for a strapless dress because
We weren't
that
allowed to
was
have this list.
the thing in the early 2000s, like
Mhm.
to have the strapless. We were allowed to have strapless. I don't know. I don't know. We were. But although, let me go ahead and break out my old lady card here. Kids these days and these dresses that they are wearing.
Like, you mean the handkerchief that's covering them?
Right. I'm like, this is not a dress.
No, it's not.
Okay, I remember for my senior prom, the bad hair Nicole Kidman prom. Um, we went to Cache shopping. I think is that how you say that?
Yes.
Remember that
Well,
store?
that's how I've always said it.
I don't know if that store even exists anymore. It was, I don't know. We went to Cache and Jessica McClintock, and
Jim McClintock was the
I feel like
bomb.
those
That
were
was
the
where we had
places
be.
to go mostly. But anyway, I bought like my mom let me get 3 dresses to bring home and pick from because I couldn't decide, or we couldn't decide, or she was probably just tired of sitting in the dressing room.
Just wanted to go
She's like,
home.
I can return 2 of these. It'll be fine. Let's just go home.
Love it.
But one of them was a beautiful dress, but it was like a lace overlay dress.
Mm.
So it had like a nude slip and then black lace. And my dad was like, "Oh, absolutely not. You will
Nope.
not be wearing
Nope.
that." No. Mm-mm.
I bet it was beautiful though.
It was. It was. But I did not wear it. It went back to Cache in the mall. Which it should have. I'm glad. I'm very glad for that. Thanks, Dad. Thanks,
Good
Dad.
looking out. Good
Sure
looking
you're-
out.
I'm sure you're listening. My dad was also very famous in my school for coming to chaperone our dances because we also had dances after every Friday night home game.
That sounds fun.
So when I was in junior high, it was junior high and senior high, right? That got to go. So like I was the 7th grader, 13 or however old in 7th grade, 13, yeah, going to dances with seniors. And he was like, absolutely not. I'll be standing in the back of that cafeteria. And that's exactly what he did.
I would probably do the same.
Right now I'm like, yeah, you did, Dad. I'm glad you did. Good for you. Gold star.
Yes.
Thank
Gold
you.
star parenting. She was like, here, you're going to do this on the mantle. And I was like, okay.
How did you make it like that? What was the base? That's what I'm trying to say. Words are
Have you
hard.
ever heard of an oasis? So it's like floral foam, but it's thicker and you soak it in water for like overnight or just
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long as
yeah.
you possibly can before you use it. And then you have to put it in a container because it's gonna leak or, ruin
Right.
whatever it's on. So we had it in this little track. So you put like a garbage bag down first as a barrier. Then you put your track down, fill it with this oasis stuff, and then that acts as almost like a floral frog or like floral foam that you just
Yeah.
put everything in. But because it's wet, it will like help
It
keep your plants.
Keeps it from
Yeah.
drying out. That's beautiful.
I
Like,
was just like,
absolutely gorgeous.
it was so
Are
fun.
you a Lily fan? Have we talked about this?
They're okay. I think they have their place. They're not my preferred. Like I am a fluffy flower girl. I love a hydrangea and
Yeah.
a peony and like a
Yeah.
garden rose.
Yeah.
And if I have a regular rose, I will do everything in my power to make it look like a garden rose because I just want it to be big and fluffy. And I think that they're really pretty, but they don't fit in the fluffy family.
Yeah. Okay. But the smell is not offensive to you?
No.
No, me either.
Not like a Bradford pear tree that is all over right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ugh.
ours
Those
are
genetic.
not. No, those are not. We don't have Bradford pears in our front yard anymore. I was like, wait, are those? No, they're not. But yeah,
They're like
those-
lightning rods.
They're the worst. Yeah.
You can smell them.
Uh-huh.
Because we had this conversation at work and some of the girls couldn't smell them. I'm like, you're very
Oh.
lucky. It's
Did
genetic.
not smell them.
No, it's genetic.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes. Some people don't smell, like Chad doesn't either. I'm like, no, that's a tree full of dead fish is what a blooming Bradford pear smells like to me.
Okay, it's maybe not quite that offensive to me, but
Oh, it's bad.
like that is quite a description.
Yes.
Like-
Well, it's very like
Very
sulfur.
dead
It's like sulfur, nasty,
Yeah.
rotten egg smell of a tree when it blooms.
Yes. It's gross. I don't like it either, but I don't know that I've ever been as offended as I would be by a tree full of dead
Okay,
fish.
so listen, I went to school at Wingate University, which is in Wingate, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And it is in the middle of nowhere, like outside of Charlotte, and it's gorgeous. It would kind of remind you of Sanford here. Like it's a beautiful campus, but there are Bradford pear trees everywhere. Like they like line the sidewalks. Okay. So imagine being in the spring and there's Bradford pear trees everywhere. Already smell bad. Well, also Wingate, North Carolina is like home to lots of chicken farms.
Oh no.
So you get the chicken farm smell that's like wafting in and the blooming Bradford pear trees. And I can remember like wanting to just sprint to class to get inside as fast as humanly possible because it smelled so.
That's really bad.
And like graduation's outside. And so I can always remember being like, okay, are we going to have like a chicken farm graduation day or are we going to have a beautiful day? Because depending on how the wind's going, could really go either way.
That's, oh, that's bad.
Mine was beautiful. It was fine. It was fine. But it was definitely something that you think about.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be a really good poll, though. Really good Instagram poll is can you smell a Bradford pear
That
tree?
would be. I'm very curious. I did not realize that people couldn't smell them.
No. And okay, another genetic thing. This is so gross. But here we go. Asparagus pea is also genetic.
Oh.
And you have to have two genes. You need the gene that makes your pea smell like asparagus, and then you need the gene that lets you smell the pea that smells like asparagus.
So you could have asparagus pea and not even know it.
Right.
Well, there's no way to know.
No. The things that you learn on the Button Up Society podcast.
Yeah. You did not know this was going to be foray into genetics.
You just never know.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with our first guest. We can't wait to share the fun conversation we had. Have a great week and button up, Buttercup.